begin tonight with the incoming wildfire season. Thank you for joining us. I'm Blair Best. Staying safe and getting ready is top of mind for many. And firefighters say with our changing climate, being prepared isn't just for certain parts of the state. It's for everyone, even those here in Portland. Here's Alma McCarty.
Although things look lush and green, firefighters say they're on high alert.
The reality is, we did have a pretty wet spring there for a while with cool, moderate temperatures, but quickly it got warm. So what happens is all those green fuels that look so beautiful then become dry, and fire can find its way to move through there.
Across the region, departments like Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue are doing what they can now to fight wildfires this year.
We have to be ready for whether it's fast-moving fires and fine fuels or small fuels on the ground, or if it's getting into a more dense forested area. We are investing in that by doing training right now.
Fire crews also want to help everyone protect their homes and communities. At the World Forestry Center's Discovery Museum, Portland Fire and the Office of the State Fire Marshal held a special event to educate the public.
With the drought conditions we've been seeing and the change in the fire behavior in Oregon, the Portland area is very much, at risk for a possible wildfire to start. And if it did, when and if it does happen, it could be very catastrophic.
Anne Rattan, an artist, and Apricot Irving, an author, use their work to share their personal experiences and close calls with Oregon wildfires.
I drove through the beginning of the Santiam Canyon fire in September 2020. And these paintings are all the result of that.
Writing about the Eagle Creek fire was a really important part for me of being able to feel like I could process and heal from the trauma of it.
Not only has it shaped their work, it's driven them to advocate for wildfire safety.
Because our landscape is changing so much. This is not a rainforest area anymore, and we got to get ready.
It is possible to still live well in this landscape that we love, and there's things we can do to protect our homes and recognize that wildfire is here.
For those who were interested but were unable to attend on Saturday, you have another opportunity on Sunday, same hours, 11 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. And of course, we will have more resources and information on wildfire preparedness up on KGW.com. In Southwest Portland, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
Well, let's check in with meteorologist Joe Ranieri now. And Joe, we've seen record-breaking temps the last couple of weeks. Could our early heat impact us heading into wildfire season?
Yeah, absolutely right. Now, I did a story a couple of weeks ago with Governor Kotek, and she was saying she was expecting to see our wildfire season start a little bit later this year because of all the rain we saw this spring. But all those incredible amounts we saw throughout the month of March, April, and earlier this month have basically been evaporated because of the warm temperatures. Now, that might be a little overstatement saying that it's all evaporated, but still, we're on track to see some very dry conditions, especially along the central and eastern side of the state. So throughout parts of the northwest side of the state, metro area and along the Oregon coast, there's no drought concern right now. But where it is concern for the potential of seeing an earlier start to wildfire season is throughout the central and eastern side of the state. And the big reason why it's been very dry over there. There's also been some kind of intense thunderstorms here the last couple of days. I think this is about day 4 of seeing them, and they're going to be seeing again tomorrow. I'll get to that in a quick second. But we've seen 5 days so far this month with temperatures 90 or warmer. Of course, the warmest day of this month was 93 degrees last weekend. And of course, that's the warmest day of the year so far. A little bit cooler heading into next week, but so far, May rainfall, Blair, is under an inch, and there doesn't appear to be any rain in sight over the next couple of days. And looking at the cluster of thunderstorms I was telling you about throughout the central and eastern side of the state, that's where it's at, and it's been very active here the last couple of hours, and it's going to continue to be active the rest of your Saturday afternoon and Saturday night and into tomorrow as well. We'll talk more about that in detail in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you. Well, let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines. Portland homicide detectives spent the night investigating yet another fatal shooting. Officers responded to the scene along Northeast 82nd Avenue in the Roseway neighborhood. They found a shooting victim who died from their injuries. Nearby roads were closed for several hours, but they're now back open. Police need your help finding 2 people involved in a shooting that sent 1 person to the hospital. Woodland police say this happened after 3 this morning on Pacific Avenue. They said suspects and the victim got into an altercation. When the victim tried to drive off, the suspect in the passenger seat fired multiple gunshots. The victim suffered minor leg injuries and is expected to be okay. Police are now looking for a dark-colored, possibly maroon SUV with a bike rack loaded with a bike in the back. And 3 people were sent to the hospital after a fire tore through a house in Forest Grove. Now, this happened at 4 in the afternoon on Friday on Hillcrest Way. Forest Grove Fire says the flames from outside the home spread into the attic. Now, crews were able to contain them and prevent the fire from spreading. No word on the condition of the 3 people who got out. Meanwhile, crews continue to investigate the cause. Well, we may be one step closer to learning what sparked a massive fire at the May Apartments in downtown Portland. The more than 100-year-old building went up in flames Tuesday morning. Now, residents got out safely but lost everything inside. Portland Fire hopes to get an investigator inside by Tuesday. Now, this comes after investigators threw drones in and around the charred-out shell on Friday. Right now, the area remains fenced off and is unsafe since it continues to crumble. Jeff Pritcher of the Scappoose Fire District flew the drone. He says it'll create both 2- and 3-dimensional maps of the scene.
Then we're going to do some very specific photos to help enhance one of the areas of interest that the fire investigators have.
Like whether it be negligence on the way the building was ran or whether it be arson, like we just want to kind of put this thing to rest.
Now, the Red Cross is helping those displaced residents by setting up a shelter on the University of Portland campus. There are several GoFundMes right now for the victims, and we have links to them in our story at KGW.com. Well, we're looking into multiple bear sightings in and around Portland's Forest Park. That includes this one recorded on video with 2 different joggers telling us about their close calls. Oregon wildlife officials tell us, well, it's not unheard of. It's certainly unusual. Here's David Mokel.
Bro, black bear in Forest Park.
Sauntering across 53rd Drive sometime last week amidst the ferns and fir trees.
That's crazy!
I can't even believe this. I can't even believe this.
Oh my God, I'm up here all the time with the dogs.
That was my bear. I recognized him. Yeah, that was his gait. That was his size.
Kristen Shaw says she was trail running Thursday evening this week when she nearly ran into the exact same bear.
I stopped and I stood a bit wide, and he considered me, I considered him, but he didn't charge, so then I calmed down.
And state fish and wildlife officials say they've had at least 4 recent black bear sightings in the area, including along Skyline, outside the park.
If it's the same bear, which it probably is, but it's gotten into some unsecured garbage, it's gotten into some beehives.
I put my arms out and wide. I said, "Bear, get away!"
Exactly what you're supposed to do, say the experts. Signs like this are now going up, reminding folks not to run, to avoid eye contact, to appear large, as Shaw did, and make a lot of noise.
And he heard me, and he didn't want anything to do with the situation either. I think we reacted similarly to each other, and he took off at a nice pace.
I can't even believe this.
As long as you give them a wide berth and it's not a mother with cubs, they usually take off. They want to get away from you.
This one doesn't seem to be a mom, but
we don't really know exactly how many bears there are
in the park. That is,
you always have to respect nature, and these are wild animals.
Because this, they say,
bro, black bear in Forest Park
is most unusual.
I can't even believe this. I can't even believe this.
Wow.